Hi, I'm Tim Carter. This is Ask the Builder. We're live. How are you today? It's a great day here in New Hampshire. Sun finally came out late in the day. We got 3 or 4 inches of concrete overnight. White concrete. That's what I call it. White, wet snow. Supposed to be 2 inches. So the forecasters got it wrong. Doesn't matter. But took a while to get it cleaned up. He had to do my neighbor's drive too. His foot's not healed. He broke his ankle about a month ago, so I'm taking care of his driveway too. And it just took about 2.5 hours this morning to work on everything. And I still dealing with a lot of ice on my drive from, I don't know, 4 days ago. We had a horrible ice storm. It was just miserable. If you if you've got a question about your home, just put it in the chat. That's what we're here for. I'm going to talk about wood window restoration in a minute, and then we're going to wander onto a bunch of random topics. We got some really good news here at the Carter House. Just a few, just within the hour. My youngest daughter got a job offer from a private jet company. She just finished training about a month and a half ago to be a flight attendant on private jets, and I knew she would get a job. And she had a bunch of companies after her, but she got a really great offer. I mean, it's a dream job. Think about this. My daughter, I actually still have a hard time comprehending this. My daughter is going to get paid money, a lot of money, actually, a lot of money, to fly on private jets to exotic locations. Rich people do not fly to crappy locations. Rich people do not fly to the frozen tundra most of the time, or if they fly where it's cold, they're flying to go skiing for 3 or 4 days, all right, in a nice ski resort. Switzerland, whatever. And it's just unbelievable, So my prediction is just, she, within 5 years, she will have been plucked, plucked by some very, very, very wealthy person to be her or his personal assistant. I guarantee that's going to happen. When people meet her and see the skills she has and her work ethic, she's a 1 in a million, buddy. So it's a happy day here. Happy day. We are talking about my youngest daughter, and who shall remain nameless. I'm not going to share her name. That's nice to know information. You don't need to know it. There's a story about that. Let's talk about wood window restoration first, because I want people to understand. First of all, here's the URL. If you want to know more about wood window restoration, I have a really good column about it. I got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. We're talking about my daughter, my youngest daughter. And so I don't know the particulars yet. I don't know that she does, but I assume she'll probably start within 2 weeks. And, but definitely by March 1st. And the rest will be history. I mean, within 2 months, she could be flying to Tahiti. I mean, just really crazy exotic places. I mean, around the world. It's not just flying from Dallas to flipping Philadelphia. Flying to Aruba, wherever. Just it's going to be. She's going to have some stories, is all I can tell you. All right, let's talk about wood windows. I got a really interesting photograph and an email from a gentleman, and it was good enough that I thought I would devote a column to it, and actually this live stream. And this was common in some older homes. I don't know why architects did it, but they would put wood windows in bathrooms, and some of these architects would actually put them like in the shower and bath area. Now, what they may have done is, at there goes the snow off the roof. As the When the house was originally built, it may have just been a bathtub. That's okay. I mean, it's not the best. And but then what happened is there was a big trend in the 50s, 1950s, to remodel these old bathrooms and put in a more modern tub and then make a shower. Showers were not really a common thing way back when. I mean, they were, back before World War II. It was not Showers were not a big. You didn't find them in a whole lot of homes. I mean, they were an afterthought. I mean, the wealthy people would have them, but small folk like us, are you kidding me? Old fashioned bathtubs, buddy. Here's what happens: the you know the windows, they get condensation on them, and that's the biggest thing that causes the problem. Is you'll take a hot shower if the window's in a cold climate, condensation rolls down the window. Most people don't pay attention, and all of a sudden over time the window's rotting out. If you catch it early enough, you can generally salvage the window. If you can't salvage the window, you can get, for example, if it's an up-down sash, Marvin Windows makes a thing called tilt pack, and you can actually take accurate measurements within an eighth of an inch and height and width, and Marvin Windows will send you 2 new sashes, 2 new jam liners. If Once you get good at it, you can replace from start to finish. You can take out an old-fashioned up-down sash window and put in a new Marvin tilt pack in about 45 minutes. They're amazing. I put in hundreds of them. Really great product. But to restore the wood window, generally speaking, you've just got to clean it up. If the joints have separated, you might be able to glue them back together. If there's wood rot, you can use wood epoxy. I've got columns on my website that show you. Just type in wood epoxy repair, and you can see a couple of really great videos of me showing how to use this wood epoxy. It's a really, really great stuff. PC Woody is what it's called, and it's paintable. You can stain it, but it doesn't look that great. I mean, if you're trying to restore a stained window, you better have some great skills, is all I can tell you, or you're not going to get it done. If you have any questions about wood window restoration, just put it in the chat. Happy to answer them. What else did I want to share? I wanted to let you know, I've mentioned this before, and it comes to mind only because I get these orders, but today I got another big order to draw the plumbing, not only the building drain layout, but also the plumbing isometric riser diagrams for a 3-bathroom house. I don't even know where it is. I haven't looked at the plans yet. I don't know what state this gentleman lives in. Doesn't matter. I don't care what state he lives in. But I just want you to know that if you know of somebody, or if you get in a situation where you're going to do some DIY plumbing and you need a plumbing permit, I draw the plans. I mean, just keep that in mind. You can go to my shopping cart. You can go to drawplumbingplans.com, whatever. Just understand that I do those plumbing plans. They're a lot of fun and they're beautiful. I do it all on the computer. They're all in full color. All the pipe sizes are color coded, so it's really easy to follow. Really easy. It's just like, black pipes are 4 inches, magenta are 3, goldenrod are 2, and turquoise went to great extent and great length to make sure that they were colorblind safe. I have two friends of mine are colorblind, and they had told me, "Hey, you better make sure that you pick colorblind safe colors." So it's really amazing. You do some research into this. I think, if I remember, this has been like 3 years now, maybe 2. There's like 2 or 3 different types of color blindness, and there's 2 or 3 different types of. You just have to the best thing to do is, if you have any interest in this at all, just go into the search engine and type colorblind safe colors, and then you'll see the same web pages I said that teach you all about it and the different ranges and whatever. It's really a fascinating it's a fascinating topic, to be honest with you. If you have any questions about anything, doesn't matter. Just put it in the chat. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're just going to go start searching, some other questions that other people have done. Oh, I wanted to share this. I got to pull this up. In past live streams, I have talked a lot about because it's happening. It's happening. Trying to look for the here it is. People had asked me. I've had viewers who have asked me all about. Trying to pull up this email, just taking for flipping ever, man. I don't know if there's an issue at my end or if the issue's at your end, but people have asked about inflation. And I got an email yesterday that linked to a column, probably one of the best columns I've ever read about inflation, and explaining it on a historical perspective. And that's the interesting thing. In other words, to know. Boy, this is a really. I think I'm going to. This is going to be a really long. Actually, I'm going to see if I can cut this off. See if this will. See if this will still load this page. And if it does, then it's going to be a much shorter URL. Yeah, good. Because the other one, whoa, man, had all kinds of tracking information in it. I'm sharing this for a reason. So I want you to go read that column about inflation. All right. And because if you don't understand what triggers it and what the ramifications are, then this is going to do a really good job of bringing it into focus to you. And it's really well written. And I haven't finished it yet. I got through about half of it. But the first half of it was so good, I just thought I got to share this. The thing you need to understand is we have inflation happening here in the United States right now. It might be happening in many countries of the world. It happens at different rates in countries. It's not uniform by any stretch of the imagination because it's directly tied to what the leadership of the country is doing with the currency at the time. All right, it's in other words, if they're playing with the currency, and they're putting too much, if they're printing too much, then it's going to cause inflation by default. And that's what's happening in the United States right now. We've just got, for 225 years, I think, 225 years. How old is our country, by the way? What the actual birthday would be what? Is it 1787? Isn't that when the Constitution was ratified, I think, 1787? If so, that's 13. 13 plus 22 is 43. So the country's 243 years old, approximately. And for 225 years, it took 225 years to get us $5 trillion in debt, national debt. And so in just 15 years, what? Yeah, in the last 15 years, we've taken it up another 25 trillion. It's over $30 trillion right now. It's a very serious problem. It's more serious than you can probably ever understand. And if you have any questions about it, put it in the chat. If I'm able to answer them, I will. I don't have an economics degree, but I know just enough about the topic to be dangerous. How does it affect you on a home improvement level? It's serious because what's going to happen is inflation. If you are in a situation where you're in a fixed income, you're toast. You're flipping toast because the odds of your asset or your whatever money you get, whoever you're getting it from, in keeping pace with inflation is probably 1 in a million. 1 in a million. You'll never. So you're just going to keep going backwards. You're going to keep getting poor. This means that the prices of everything, the prices of workers coming to work on your home, the prices of materials, the prices of faucets, of everything that you need for your home is going to go up. If you're planning a major improvement, the sooner you get it done, the better, because it's just going to keep going up in price. That's my advice to you. And that's why you need to read that article, so that if you don't believe me, maybe that article will push you over the edge, and you'll become a believer. Inflation's real. The numbers that you're seeing our current government tell you the number is, it's wrong. It's not the right number, not even close. I mean, what are they quoting? A number like 6, 7%? Well, do you do shopping at the grocery store? Well, haven't you seen the price of meat and other things? And it doesn't matter why the price is going up. It's just the fact that the price is going up. Don't think it's greedy on the part of the meat packers. Might be a small part of the problem, but meat's up 20, 30, 40%. What about gasoline? Just today, I had to pay $3 and, I don't know, 40 cents a gallon here in New Hampshire. Just a little, go back 14 months ago, I was paying $2.05. So that means the price of gasoline is up over 50%. Everything that I see prices of things up. Nothing is up less than 10%. So where the government comes up with this 7%, and I don't care, this is not a party issue. This is not Republican, Democrat. It's the government that's quoting this number. It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, they're just cooking the number, because in the reality, you go look at the prices of things and how much they've gone up. Look at lumber over last year. What was lumber up? 400%, 500%? It still hasn't come back down to where it originally was. It's a serious problem. All right, we don't have to talk about economics and inflation, but I'm telling you, it's something that you need to keep your head on a swivel about. You need to understand this. You need to see it's going to impact your home. It's going to impact what? Well, for example, like my next one. We'll just talk about this quickly. For years, I was paying on average about $2.40 a gallon for propane to heat my home. And then early last season, it kind of went up to $2.70. And then my last fill up, which was, I don't know, 700 gallons, it was like $3.14 a gallon, $3.14. I then found out about co-ops. And to make a long story short, I was able to renegotiate a contract with my provider last April for this year of $1.83 a gallon. My next door neighbor did not do it. I told him all about it. I told him, I said, hey, John, man, you got to do this. You got blah, 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 got to do it. He didn't do it. He just paid $3.75 a gallon. So unless you have got a printing press in your basement, or you're independently wealthy, and you're 300, 400, 500K a year, 600K, whatever, $1 million a year, and it doesn't bother you, big deal. But most people don't do that. I don't do that. I'm not there. So anyway, you need to be watching this. It's just like something you need to be paying attention to. And anyway, all right, enough of that. If you have any questions about anything about your home, happy to answer them. It doesn't matter. It could be roofing question, plumbing. It could be electric. Maybe you have a question about heating, because, we're still winter. It's winter here in America. You might be watching from down in Australia right now, I put way too much ice in this glass. Wow. I need some water. What did I want to tell you? I got a really funny email this morning. I've been so lucky with Ask the Builder. And let me give you a little context. Maybe my job is a lot like yours. Certain things that you love to do in your work, and other things you're like, I just don't like it, And so for me, this live stream is a lot of fun. Live stream. It was my son who got me into it back in November. And, I'm going to keep doing it for a while until I get bored, I guess. Oh, good for you, Will. Got your FLIR. You're going to charge that battery up and start playing with it, buddy. It's a lot of fun. The second thing I love the most, is I love doing my newsletter, which it comes out every Sunday. It's a very relaxed writing style, and and what's happened is I've made just as I've made friends with you here on the live stream, I have connected over the years with quite a few people through my newsletter, and we've become friends, and they'll email me. Well, one of them is this woman who I would love to meet. Oh my gosh, I would so love to meet this woman face to face. Her name is Elaine, and I won't tell you her last name. Doesn't matter. You don't need to know. You don't need to know where she lives. I don't know her exact. Well, I do know her street address. I can look it up. She's bought things from me. Anyway, she's a really good writer, and she's got all these stories. And she sent me a story. I forget what triggered it last night. Oh, I know what it was. I had put a thing in the newsletter on Sunday. If you found something interesting in the newsletter, why don't you buy me an ice cream cone? And I sent people to this page, because I share on the page. I'm bringing it up right now for you. I share on the page what my favorite ice cream is, and uh, here I'm bringing it up. All right. So anyway, and so Elaine goes on Sunday. She goes to this page and she buys me a flipping ice cream cone. And so yesterday I thank her. I'm pulling it up right now. So here's the page. Here's where she went to buy me the ice cream cone. And I told her, I said that flavor mocha chip, and I actually sent her the page of the ice cream parlor in Cincinnati where I get it. In fact, that's the ice cream that ice cream parlor is the place where Alex, who's not here right now, Alex is going to be going there on Monday. I don't know. He might go there Sunday night, actually, to buy me a 1 pound box of dark chocolate pecandes, because we bet on the Super Bowl, and or I'm going to be buying him a box. So I send Elaine to this page or to this website and say, look, you can buy this ice cream. It's really, really good. So she sends me this quick story about years ago. She, some preacher lady, some lady from the church came over to their house to talk about stuff, and Elaine made some old fashioned ice cream with with an ice cream hand crank machine, and they had this special recipe where she used Mexican vanilla, and the preacher lady had said how much she liked vanilla. All right, so Elaine puts in a lot of vanilla flavoring. All right, so and the preacher lady proceeds to get drunk on it. I didn't. You learn something new every day. All right. You may learn something about home improvement. For me, I did not know that vanilla has got alcohol in it. And evidently this Mexican vanilla extract has got a lot. So Elaine got this preacher lady drunk. I mean, so drunk that, the preacher lady had to get another way home. They had to find a way for it. She wasn't able to drive. But that's the kind of stories I get. I get these great stories. And, she also shared a really long story that she allowed me to share about her husband and her had these plans. They had this idea to build this dream hobby shop on their property. And it was this crazy involved process. It's never happened, but they've gone through all this rigmarole. And she wrote this very long story, probably 4,000 words. It could be longer. And I may tomorrow morning, I think I may try to clean it up and put it on the website. And I'll share it with you. Whenever I get up on the website, I'm going to share it with you. But Elaine's a really good writer. And in that story, I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't want to do a spoiler alert. But the first part of the story, like the first paragraph or two, she says this one thing about this one architect. It's so flipping funny. I almost fell out of my chair when I read it. So funny. But I'm lucky. I get I get emails like that from my subscribers, and I get to meet you. Well, soon I'm going to meet Will. Um, I say soon. I don't know. It might be sooner than later. The forecast. I mean, we got some warmer weather coming up here. Spring's coming. I mean, it's coming. I hope it comes early this year. But Will and I are going to be playing some golf, and that I cannot wait for that. Wait till you see the video that we shoot that day. It's going to be great. Oh, I cannot wait to shoot that video. I got to get a new battery. I'm going to get a new battery for my one camera, and I've got this really great Canon S95 that's, gosh, must be 12 years old. What a great little camera. Oh, man, way ahead of its time. And it works perfect now because what happened is, video went, you got to get like 8K for these big giant LCD or whatever, the big screen TVs you might have in your home. But so many people, are watching video on their smartphones. They're not like my daughter, that's all she does. And so shooting a video in 720 HD is perfect. That's more than enough for a phone like that. Perfect clarity. So the little S95, man, does a great little job. It does a fantastic job. If you have any questions about your home, put it in the chat. I'll suck on this ice cube. Try to get some water out of it. What a mistake. I should have had a water bottle up here too. That I won't let that happen again. I can tell you that. I would, once again, I'll answer any questions you have about your home. It doesn't really matter. If you happen to be watching the live stream because just so you know, when I go to set it up, I can restrict who watches the live stream, but I let anybody watch it. Anybody in the world, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to have a YouTube subscription or an account. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you're watching the live stream and you do not have a YouTube account, which means you would have a username, then you're unable to chat. You're unable to ask questions. And I would just recommend that you go ahead and open up a YouTube account. It's free. You don't have to upload a video. There have to be millions and millions and millions of people across the world who have YouTube accounts who have never uploaded a video. And that way, it just gives you the ability to chat here. Your biggest problem opening up the account is going to be coming up with a username, because all the good ones were taken back 17, 18 years ago. All the great names, they're gone. They're gone. You're going to have a hard time getting a good name. That I can assure you. Well, look who's here. Hello, Lorene. Great to see you here. Great to see you here. I'm just rambling on. We have had no questions yet. Will read my mind. Will, and you might be talking about, have you seen those television commercials with Mike Rowe? Where he's in somebody's front yard and he pops up out of a trench. The answer to if that's what you're talking about, where you're buying an insurance policy on your water line outside and on your sewer line, absolutely, it's a ripoff. I've never read the actual policy, but something tells me that they probably have quite a few loopholes in it, and who knows what the deductible is. And the true the incidence of failed sewer lines or failed water lines is so infinitesimally small. I mean, you just, and if you ever, the way, here's the good way to look into this. Let's say you didn't know me. And so how would you find out? Who would you talk to, to find out, like, wow, is this a ripoff or not? So what you want to do is if you have a good relationship with your plumber, you would ask your plumber. You would just say, you don't ask them about the insurance policy. You have to remember, the power is always in the question. The power is in the question. You need to ask the right question. So you would ask the plumber, you would go, do you do water line replacement? For example, you would say, in other words, if my water line out in the yard were to burst and start a leak, do you do that kind of replacement work? And they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, then you'll say, how many water line replacement jobs would you say you've done in the past few years? And they might go, well, the last one I think we did was about 9 years ago. And the only reason that happened is because there was a landslide. I mean, some weirdly odd thing happened that potentially caused it to go bad. The point I'm trying to make is most people's water lines, they don't go bad. I was my second last house I lived in was in Pleasant Ridge in Cincinnati, and the house was built in, I don't know, 1900 maybe, late 1800s. It had a lead. The water line from the street to the house was lead. And when I moved out of the house in I would have moved out in 1987. Still the original water line. All right. So, and typically most places require you, if you're in a city system, like when I was a licensed master plumber in Cincinnati, and I would put a lot of water lines in. We had to put in K copper. I mean, K copper. The K stands for the wall thickness, and it's thick. Unless you live in an area like Phoenix and other parts of the nation that have aggressive water, there are places that have aggressive water that can eat through copper. Southern California, Phoenix, bad. You don't want to use copper out there. You would want to use PEX. K copper, I don't know. It might last 200 years. And same thing with sewer lines. It's possible for an old clay sewer line to collapse, but it's rare. So the bottom line is, Will, you would want to ask that question to your plumber. When was the last time you replaced a water line for somebody? And then the follow-up question is, well, what went wrong? Why did you have to replace it? And you would ask the same question about sewer lines. Most of the sewer lines that are put in, contractors, because they're deep, they don't want to be digging them back up. They don't, and especially if the sewer line's modern, if it's anywhere in the last 30, 40 years, it's all plastic. Are you kidding me? So I would never buy that insurance. I would never buy it. And also, for the love of God, call your regular homeowners insurance carrier first. See what kind of coverage you might already have. You might already have coverage for it, All right. Any other questions? Anybody have a question about anything? It really doesn't matter. I really don't care what it is. You could ask about the weather. Oh, so you got here late, Lorene. And Will, I think you got here late, I think. But right early in the live stream, I talked about how we were just before I went live, I was down in the kitchen. We were having a little celebration because my youngest daughter, it probably happened an hour and a half ago, she got a great job offer she didn't think she was going to get. She had finished training about a month and a half ago, being a flight attendant on private jets. So she, a month from now, she could be in Tahiti, or she could be flying to Switzerland, but she's going to be flying, millionaires and multimillionaires and billionaires around. And I mean, think about this. Imagine getting paid a really good salary to fly on private jets. You get paid to fly on private jets. I got to do it one time. I've flown on a private jet one time. I warned her. I told my daughter, 3 weeks ago, I said, I just want to warn you. I said, you're going to this place, you're going to this thing, and over time, you're going to find it intolerable to fly the way that the rest of us fly. Meaning getting stuffed into the aluminum tube with all those flipping idiots. Yeah, it's really great news, Lorene. So you had a neighbor who had their water line blow due to tree roots. That's so unusual. That is so rare. Oh my gosh, I would love to talk to that plumber. That is that is so very rare. I mean, the only time I could see it happen would be if and typically the tree well, it depends on where you live, but I know where you live. You live up there in Flipping, Wisconsin. I mean, your water lines up where you are, Lorene, in Cincinnati, we had to put our water lines 42 inches deep. I would think up there where you're at, they've got to be 5 feet deep. Got to be. I mean, because your frost. I mean, your frost level up where you are in Cincinnati, it was 30 inches. Your frost level up in Chicago and up where you are, it's got to be 42 inches, 48 inches. Got to be. Could be deeper. And most tree roots are shallow. I mean, just look next time you see these big storms hit, and you see where trees have been blown over. Look at the root ball. The root ball's not. It's not like it's 6 feet deep. The root ball's only 30 inches deep or so. I mean the roots are the roots are pretty shallow. They're really pretty shallow. So that's a real. I'd love to know more about that story. That I can tell you. Uh, but we're going to be popping the champagne tonight. I can tell you that here at the Carter House. She was pretty flipping excited. She's it's a great company. She didn't think she was getting an offer from this company, and it's just I'm telling you, as your dad, it's just really hard to get my head around it. And as time goes on, it's going to be even harder. I just hope that she's able, but she might not be allowed to. I hope that she is able to text me the tail number of the airplane that she's going to be on that day. You know, airplanes in America have to have a number. It's just like your license plate number on your car. That's what it is. It's the license plate number for a plane, and they're unique. There's no two alike, and you can type that number into any number of apps that you can get, and it'll show you where that plane is. It'll show the plane flying in the sky. It's just pretty amazing. Chicago suburbs, early '90s. So same thing. I I just can't. I mean, I just can't even imagine tree roots causing a water line to because if that just so you know, Lorene, here's the proof is in the pudding. This is what I always say. Meaning, if tree roots cause problems with water lines on a routine basis, meaning where I don't know once a week, I'm being facetious. Once a month on your street, somebody's water line blows because of tree roots. The plumbers would go, this is insanity. No, we're not having this happen anymore. So they would figure something out. They would put the water line in a sleeve. They would put them deeper. They would talk to arborists, like what the hell's going on, blah 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 blah. But I, in all my entire career, I've been a master plumber for 40 something years. Never heard that happen before. Just so you know, very rare. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying it's really rare. That's why I'm saying I would love to know the particulars. Like, was the water line put in wrong? Was it some kind of exotic tree that its roots wrap around the pipe? That there's no way the roots are going to drill through the pipe. I know that. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. That $4,500 doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me one bit. But to Will's point, just so you know, this Will, we have plumbers now. There's technology. For example, if you have an old clay sewer line, instead of ripping up the whole yard, they can sometimes, not always, sometimes they can pull a new, slightly smaller plastic sewer line inside the old one and then make a new connection at the house and out at the street. So they don't have to dig it up. But I'm not saying they can do it all the time, but they can sometimes make that repair that way. All kinds of great technology for repairs like that. Can't always do that with water lines. What we have done with water lines in the past, this has worked pretty well. A really good backhoe operator knows how to do this. You can attach the old water line to the new water line, and a backhoe operator, as long as someone's doing the right job feeding it, they can actually feed like basically pull that new water line through the soil without having to dig up the yard. You can do that. You don't have to always dig up the yard. All kinds of tricks. Um, they added water sewers. The suburbs grew. Yeah, could be. I once again, we know we know we know that tree roots don't typically cause a problem because you don't see it happening hardly ever. You don't, never hear about it. Never, just hardly ever. Mm, that's a good ice cube. My favorite ice, and I had a machine, but it broke. I'm going to get a countertop one. Um, that cubed ice, the little cubes that are about the size of a pencil eraser, or raisins. That's the best ice. Restaurant in Cincinnati, it was their trademark, Frisch's Big Boy in Cincinnati, Ohio. Uh, yep, that's great if they can get you to do it. You won't find many cities doing that today. Most cities are bankrupt. They're not going to give you any money. They don't have any money. Oh my gosh. Uh, the um, the snow today that I had to deal with, miserable stuff. This miserable. It was like a late March snow. It was wet, just horrible. It can gum up the snow blowers. It's just miserable stuff. Just horrible. I got it in time, but it just, ah, I'll tell you what, I'm already, it's interesting. It's only February 8th, and I'm already pretty much done with winter. I'm done. Like my neighbor and I were talking about it today. She said, I'd like to go someplace warm. I said, I would too. I'd love to take like 2 weeks off, go to Aruba or go someplace warm, just lay on the beach. That'd be wonderful. Um, I mentioned yesterday, you might not have been here, Lorene. Um, I don't know. It's just kind of a very rough idea, but I'm eventually going to poll everybody. We're we're going to maybe do a parachute drop, you know, and what a parachute drop would be is where I'm going to say it's going to be prearranged so that it aligns with a lot of people's schedules. But for example, I might say a month from now or 6 weeks from now, I'm going to be at this resort in Florida for these days. I'm going to be there. If you want to come there, if you want to, get a room, and then we meet every now and then during the day. We meet for lunch, or we have breakfast together, or we golf together, or we play pickleball together, or we whatever together, or don't do anything together. Um, very informal. You know, you might get an invite. You might be able to come and just hang out. We call them parachute drops. And but anyway, we were supposed to get 2 inches. I think we got 4 inches. Very wet, started to compact, and the last part of the storm got a little bit of rain, very light rain, and that added to the problem. So it was only about 3 inches. Temperature got up to 40, which was remarkable. I mean, we haven't, boy, it's been a while since we've been above freezing. And the next few days are going to be nice. I think tomorrow's going to be in the upper 30s. Friday's going to be 40 and sunny. I'm actually Friday. I think I'll be here. It'll be close. I think I'll be here. But Friday, like at lunchtime, I'm going to be doing outdoor radio. I'm going to go do ham radio, Parks on the Air, with a friend of mine, another radio operator, over near Lake Sunapee. But I should be home by 3:30. Parks on the Air. If you can go look it up, just a simple URL, parksontheair.com, and pretty amazing program, and it's very, very popular, very popular. But there aren't a lot of people in New Hampshire doing it. So what it is there are people like me, we're called activators, and we drive to a park, we set up our antenna, and then we get on the air and we make contacts, and the contacts are very quick. It's just an exchange of call sign and a signal report, and that's it. You don't sit there and chit chat. We call it rag chewing. No rag chewing, just call sign, RST, That's it. And, you might make 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 contacts in an hour. And and there are people at home who do not go out to the parks. All they do is all day long is they're trying to make contact with a 50 or 60 or 70 people across the United States that are out at the parks. And they get credit for it. And it's a competition. And we have these pileups. It's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun, actually. I may try to record it this week, so you can, and maybe upload it so you can hear what a pileup sounds like. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I've got a really nice digital recorder, and it should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to take a day off. I haven't done radio in a while outside. It's hard to do radio in New Hampshire in the wintertime. You got to be pretty hardy to do it. Uh, yeah, yeah, I know exactly. We've got the same thing here, and then same thing, in March. Well, in the Midwest, March is a transition month. Where, that's where the old saying comes from. Comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb. But here in New Hampshire, that month is April, because March in New Hampshire can still be winter. I mean, so I'm getting my hopes up. But you know what? Here it is, February 8th. Hard to believe. I mean, only 3 more weeks left in February. So 7 more weeks from now, it's going to be April 1st. That's really hard to believe. Really hard to believe. I've got a question for you. We've got a lot of people watching. We got quite a few people. If you like what you hear today, I'm just kind of rambling on. I apologize for that. I didn't do any prep at all. I thought that I would get a lot of questions, and then we would just answer your questions. But I'm not getting any questions. Jason's here. Jason's a very interesting. I've never met Jason. I haven't met any of the viewers. I've not met you yet. But Jason, here's what Jason is. Jason's a lurker, and I say that in a kind way. Jason is here. He'll jump in every now and then. Doesn't have a lot to say, but he's paying attention, and that's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, actually. But I just thought for sure that I would get more. Yes. Yeah, your husband's right. Yes, Lorraine, Mars is up and working. I don't do any of that stuff. Some of those guys they take it a little too seriously is about the best way to put it. It's same thing with Aries, what we call Aries. It's Aries is an acronym that stands for Amateur Radio Emergency Services. So when a hurricane hits or whatever, all the Aries guys get out and go and set the radios up. And I used to kind of participate in the drills here, but it just some of the people just take it too seriously. I don't like that. Well, good. I'm glad you're off work today. But Mars is absolutely active. I'm sure they got a big national website. He can look it up. I would just type into one of the search engines Mars ham radio, and boom, he'll get more information than he ever wants to know about it. That's for sure. I was trying this morning. I was a little bored. I didn't want to start to work I wasn't in the mood to start work right away. Let's say that. And so I every morning I have a conversation with a student. I've over the past year I've taught this person how to do Morse code. He's done really, really well. And so we do a quick secret message, to keep him informed. And after that was over with, I was just kind of tuning around, and I was about ready to make contact with a guy in Italy, but then the band went to bed. It went to sleep. 20 meters went to bed. So I didn't do it. But it's I have a lot of fun, a lot of fun with radio. So I just do Morse code. I don't do much. I rarely talk on the radio, with my voice. It's all Morse. And I'm kind of a purist, and I just think it's a really interesting way to communicate. There's I have a really funny, I'm trying to think. Oh, here, I'll find it for you. Cause this is really pretty funny. What are they called? Memes? Is that Kathy always yells at me because I pronounce it wrong. Those funny, like marked up cartoons. So I'm finding this really funny cartoon you got to see about Morse, and you're actually going to relate to this. You will relate to this. I really think you're going to relate to this cartoon. It'll bring back a memory of you, of you back in school. I'm bringing it up. Here we go. I've almost got it. I'm almost there. I just got to make sure I'm giving you the right link. Yes, it's so flipping hilarious. And on this, you want to watch the video on this page too. But this is I hope I'm saying it right. Meme. It's right at the top of the page. A really funny meme. All right. Jason's got a flipping question. Are you kidding me? But here's hello, somebody. Here's a new person. I don't know who that is. Hello. It's my first time watching a live. I'm a relatively new follower. Are we allowed to ask? Yes. 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 Whoever you are, hello. You can ask any question you want about your home. And actually, you can ask any question you want about anything. We try to stay away from the really polarizing topics. And the reason why is it just does it because you may have a certain position, I may have one. It's just not going to move the ball down the field to something that's really that you firmly believe in. So we just try to stay away from that. But if Steve were here, Steve doesn't care. Steve's going to bring it up, man. All right, Jason, while we're waiting for hello, we're going to answer Jason's. I have a question. Have you ever used the vinegar salt Dawn mixture for weeds? No, I have not used it. Here's how I deal with weeds. And now I'm going to assume that you're talking, confirm this for me. Are you talking about weeds that might be coming up in cracks, like in a sidewalk, top driveway? Or are you talking about weeds just out in the lawn somewhere? Makes a big difference how you deal with them. Oh, Katrina. Okay, Katrina. All right, great. All right. Well, you can ask any question right now you want, Katrina. It doesn't matter if you have a quick question now, whatever. So we're waiting for Jason to get back. We will go to ND Sharon. My husband tore out my kitchen a couple of years ago, and it only has the new floor in. Where do I start? Oh, well, that's there's a there's a couple of ways. I don't know you that well. I mean, I could answer this in a couple of ways. I'll just say this. Scarcity is the most powerful psychological trigger of all. Scarcity. All right. All right. Now, I'm just going to assume. I mean, I don't. Where do you start? So I have a lot of assumptions here. I don't know if you've already bought the cabinets. I don't know if you have the plan. Can you give me more information, ND Sharon? Can you tell me? Tell me. Do you have you bought anything yet? That's all I want to know. Have you bought anything? And if you have bought stuff, what have you bought? Just let me know. All right. So here, Jason. And I mean, tell me that, and then I'll go back to Jason. Okay. Bingo. Just spotty weeds in the drive. Walkway. Okay. So here's what I do, Jason. This is really interesting. Here. This is you need to think about how do plants live? What do they need to live? What do they need? All right. They need water and they need sunshine. And how do they collect the sunshine? With the leaves. All right. If you want to control, here's and also you have to understand this. Weeds, common weeds are a lot like trees and bushes. Here, what I'm calling deciduous ones, and even evergreens are the same way. Evergreens are the same way. What happens? You'll notice in the spring, the growth. What happens? The things come alive. That's why the maple, the syrup, farmers. It's the first crop of the year. The sap starts to run. The trees are getting ready to grow. They grow like crazy in the spring. The same thing true with grasses and with weeds. They're growing like crazy. But then as summer progresses, they slow down. Here's all I do. I have the same problem. I just, you know, I just go out like once every week or every couple of weeks because I don't let them get very high at all. And I just take my weed whacker, the little, the thing that's got the nylon string, and I just go around and I just cut the weeds off, and I cut their leaves off, and they can't get any sun. And when you do that enough times, they're done. The whole root system dies. So just, you don't need to pour any mixture on. Don't waste your time doing that. And the time you spend mixing up all that crap and spreading it, I could have cut the weeds 10 times with a weed whacker. So just start cutting them off, but don't let them get real big. That's the key. You need to, once they've come out of the ground an inch or so, get out there, and it'll only take you a second. It'll only take you a few minutes to do it. Okay. Bye, Lorene. So you got to go. All right, here we go. Andy Sharon, I have the cabinets and the light fixtures and the plumbing. I still don't acquire the drywall. Okay, well, so, all right, good. So you're in good shape. So here's how we would do kitchen remodeling jobs. So we do the demolition, we then change any framing we have to change, any blocking we have to put in. We do all our mechanicals, we put in here's how the mechanicals work. They also go in a certain order. You do your heating and air conditioning first, your plumbing second, and the wiring is last. That's always last. And then, of course, we would insulate, put the vapor barrier on, then do all the drywall work. And then I always pre-painted. I like to get all the painting done first, as crazy as that sounds. Because I was really careful putting cabinets in. So I would get all the painting done, because then you're not trying to paint around all these new cabinets. And then we would install the cabinets. You always install the wall cabinets first. You don't want to be putting the base cabinets in and trying to reach over and put the wall cabinets on, drop one onto the base cabinet, ruin it, or scratch the base cabinet with your tool belt. So wall cabinets on first, base cabinets second. Then, of course, you put your countertops in, put your appliances in, the dishwasher, under counter, refrigerator, whatever. Put your countertops on. You're done. So there's nothing hard about it. It's just all these little simple steps that you have to put one together. So that's all you got to do. Simple as that. If you have any specific questions, I'm more than happy to help. But remember, wall cabinets first. All right. Katrina says, currently dealing with a stuck set screw in a bathroom faucet handle. Tried many things, but finally the point would probably needs to be drilled out. Well, don't drill it out. So I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the little set screw that the little hex wrench goes into, correct? All right. So did you, have you put some of the, like WD-40 in, the lubricants that will help lubricate it to cut down on the friction? So you need to apply some of that, let that sit overnight. And then if you've rounded out, if you messed up the set screw and rounded it out inside, you want to use a screw extractor. Do you know what a screw extractor is? They're fascinating. Okay, stripped and corroded. All right, so you use a screw extractor, and I will go get them for you. I'll go get a link for you right now, so you get the right ones. I don't know. I'm having the hardest time today with my internet. It's just so flipping slow up here in the cave. Just a second. I'm trying to, here we go. Finally, come alive. Come alive. Come on. Come on. Come on. Pointer. Let's go. Sometime today. So I can type sometime today. Come alive. My gosh. I'm going to give it like 5 more seconds. Then I'm going to be done. I just cannot believe it. I just, so frustrating. So frustrating. All right. I'll come back to you. I can't. We'll try one more time. Oh, too bad. All right, so just go to Amazon, type in screw extractor, and they're like these tiny little. They've got reverse threads on them, and they're specially made to bite into a hole. In other words, when and they're made, they're made so that they're turned so that when you put the drill on reverse, you would think with a normal drill bit that it comes out, but because of the way the threads are on the extractor, it starts to dig in. All right, it's amazing. And as long as you lubricate it first, and you don't go crazy with the drill, kind of make sure you use a variable speed one, you should be able to get that right out with a screw extractor. They're just magical tools. Most people don't know about them. You're welcome. Please come back and let us know what happened. Please let us know, Katrina. I want to know if you had success. Okay. I just can't. I couldn't get Amazon to come alive. I don't know what the heck's going on. ND Sharon, thank you. I'll let you know if I get stuck. Yeah, well, that's what I'm here for. Yeah, it's really hard to let people know about the live feeds. It's just so hard. Whatever. I try to Friday about 4:00. This summer it's going to change because I'm going to be in a golf league. So one of the days I'll be golfing. I won't be here. Going to have let's see if I can improve my golf game. It's going to be interesting. So we'll see. So my last piece of advice for ND Sharon. There's an old saying, elephants are best eaten one bite at a time. And you're eating an elephant. All right. It's because it's easy to get overwhelmed. And look, I think you said at the beginning. Yeah, you said it right here. Tore out my kitchen a couple of years ago. Just, I'm not going to mention any names. What if I told you? So this should make you feel actually a lot better. What if I told you I know a woman who the exact same thing happened? Kitchen was torn out. Husband started to put it back together, stopped working on it 17 years ago. Still not done. All right, so none of my business why it's not done. But you're only 2 years. But here's what I can tell you is that if you start, you're at the point where you could probably do just about all this yourself, unless you've got some physical challenges. But because I've got columns on my website that show you how to finish the drywall. There's all kinds of great drywall finishing videos on YouTube as well. There's all kinds of great videos on YouTube about how to install the cabinets. You can come here and ask questions. You're going to be, it's not, none of this is too hard. It's not too awful hard. And by gosh, you could have a working kitchen. Well, I can just tell you, in the old days when I was doing it for a living, if you're at the drywall stage, the drywall only takes 4 days, 1 day to hang it, 3 days to finish it. Next day you'd paint. Next day we'd have, I imagine it's a smaller kitchen. We'd probably have the cabinets in 1 day. Next day we'd be putting tops in. I mean, you're at the point, you've already got the floor and you've got only like 2 weeks worth of work, but it might take you 3.5 weeks. That's okay. Just do a little bit each day. Magic's going to happen. And I'm here to help you. I'm glad to help you. That's why I'm here. That's why I do the live streams. I don't do them to jibber jabber. Seriously. I take an hour out of my day, and now sometimes it's an hour and a half to be here to help you. Will says, after all your league playing, when we play, you will have to play from the blue tees. I don't know. You know what I think about? Here's what I think about golf. And you know so much more about it than I do. Will, seriously, is that golf to me? Well, first of all, if you don't have the flipping hand-eye coordination, it doesn't matter how many lessons you take, and it doesn't matter how much you're going to play. You can play every day, and you're still going to suck. And here's the other thing. Here's mentally where I am. I never expect to play par. I never expect. I mean, even the professional golfers don't always get par. I mean, just look at these weekend tournaments and then look at the score. Here's what happens. A lot of people always just look to see who won. They don't look to see who came in last to see what he shot or she shot, both women and men. All right. It's so unrealistic for me to think that I would ever shoot par. I'm not a flipping pro. And just like the guy that won over the weekend at where were they playing at? Because I watched that guy make the cliff shot this morning. Oh, the place, not Torrey Pines, the other one out there on the West Coast. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just get excited when I make a good shot. I mean, I do get excited when I make a par or a birdie. I do that every now and then, but and so I get a thrill from that, and that's all I need. That's all I need to fuel my golf appetite, is all I can tell you. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So the top players like Phil Mickelson. Now I know what the answer always is. So I can't play golf as good as Phil Mickelson. All right, I get it. Well, guess what? Phil Mickelson can't use a flipping framing square and cut a flipping jack rafter in a valley. He can't do it. Or if he tries, he's going to completely flub it up. Okay. So, you know what? We're equal. I already know the answer to that question. You're going to say, well, guess what? Jack Mickelson can pay some guy to do it. Well, good for him. I can go play golf too. I can go pay at 35, 40, 50, 60 bucks, play golf. Anyway, look who's here. Steve's here. Hello, Steve. Andy Sharon, I told him something like that. I'm going to say it one more time if you're still here, Sharon. And I don't know that I'm connecting. Scarcity is the most powerful tool of all. It is so flipping powerful. So you need to make yourself scarce, is all I can say. Pebble Beach, that was it, Pebble Beach. Yes. Steve, the only golf I know about is the VW golf. Yeah. It's Steve, I'll tell you this about golf. I'm just going to say this. It's a game that you play against yourself. And so I kind of like that aspect of it. And because you don't need to, you can go out and play alone. You don't need to have, it's not like tennis. It's I guess in some way it's like darts. I like playing darts, just so you know. Boy, back 35 years ago, I was really into darts. I can get them out here. I maybe get them out tomorrow. I've got some beautiful 21 gram tungsten darts that, boy, they are beautiful darts. And I watch the pros. I know how to throw. I know how to. I mean, I know, it's pushing the dart. It's pushing it. It's not bringing it back here and throwing it. You can always tell somebody who doesn't know how to play darts. Steve's probably an expert at it at the pubs. But golf, it's a really hard game. Requires a lot of a whole lot of hand-eye coordination. And the biggest mistake I think that beginners make is they try to play baseball. I don't know if you play cricket in the UK, but they try to hit the ball too hard, and you don't need to hit the ball hard at all, man. I'm telling you. Will chime in here. Here's what you look at: the average hole, like the average par 4 hole in the United States. It might be, I don't know, Will, correct me if I'm wrong, 330 yards. I don't know, something like 330 yards. You might find a short 300 yard, maybe even a shorter one, 270 yard par 4. You don't need to use a driver. I mean, Steve, get this, the irons in the golf bag, like my 4-iron, I still have enough strength. My 4-iron goes 160 yards, and you have so much more control when you use the irons. So why would you get this big long club? The driver, the longer the shaft is, the greater chance of a mistake. It's logarithmic, by the way. It's not linear. And so with irons, you have much more control because the shaft is longer or shorter. I'm sorry, shorter. So I get my 4-iron out on the tee, pop it 160 yards. If it's a 300-yard hole, I've got 140 to go. Get out my 6-iron. If it's downhill, get out my 7-iron. Boom, I'm on the green if everything goes right. And you're 2-putt. There's nothing hard about it. But idiots like me, let's get the big driver out, man. Let's drive the thing 250 yards. And then it goes, and it becomes a gift to the ball gods in the woods, Oh, I could talk about it all the time. Oh man, we need to get together and play some darts. It's such a fun game. It's really fun. It's just it's so much fun. It is such fun. Wow, the pubs are dying a slow death. What a shame. Holy tomato. What a shame. What a shame. Well, saw my golf videos. Anyway, so anyway, I'm just going to say this to Sharon. Last thing. So I talked about scarcity. So there's always the thing about rewards. I mean, if somebody, just like a dog, like if a dog does something really good, you might give it a treat. There's nothing hard about this. Nothing hard about this at all. Oh, I don't even know you. So if I'm offending you, I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to tell you, you need to understand how we think. So anyway, Steve, any questions, any news? I think you saw that about that email I sent you this morning. For you, it probably was late morning, early afternoon. The illness dominoes here, they're starting to fall. They're starting to fall, buddy. Oh yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, of course, the social media is kind of taken over, but the overlords control the social media, as we well know. They shut down the people they don't like, they don't want to listen to. So that's a bad deal. Yeah. My problem is I'm not a drinker at all. I don't. And if there's smoking and if the pubs allow smoking over there, I would never be able to tolerate it. I just, this secondhand smoke just really bothers me. So I could not be in a place where a lot of smoking's going on. But I don't like to drink at all. I've always, I hate beer. I hate everything about it. I've tried 100 different ones and they all taste crappy. But some people love it. So I'm one of the 10% of the people. I mean, there's something wrong with me genetically. The hops. I mean, hops and I just don't get along. And I'm one of the 10% of the population that can't eat cilantro or however you pronounce it. If I have some guacamole or something that's got cilantro, like salsa, it tastes like, it tastes like I just took a bite out of a bar of soap. It's like, are you kidding me? And my oldest daughter, very sensitive. She's got she inherited that gene from me. She has real ultra sensitive to lettuce and some other things, but very, very interesting. Yeah, but I would still like to go to a pub. I would like to go to a pub. Oh, okay. No public places in Britain are allowed to allow smoking. Okay, well that's good. That's good for me. I would go to a pub then. I mean, if I'm lucky enough, it's on my bucket list. Dude, I'm telling you, it's way up at the top. I mean, and now, here's what you don't know because you got here late. we had a celebration here before I went live on today. My youngest daughter got a job offer. She's going to be a flight attendant on private jets. She's going to be flying all around the flipping world. And I don't. Who knows, man? Somehow, I just need. Actually, I'm going to, now that she got her job offer, I'm going to probably do it in the next couple of days. I have to renew my passport, but because my passport expired, but I couldn't travel anyway. I mean, there was no way I'm traveling with all these restrictions in place. Like, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting a face diaper on. But but the point is, I want to come to England. I want to come there in the worst way. And I would love, I mean, one of the things I would absolutely want to do is I want to go to a pub one night, So I'm sure I can drink ginger ale. All right. Oh, I have not heard that, but it doesn't surprise me. I think that you know what? I wish I could get Kathy to be in on our next Zoom call. I don't think she would ever do it. But man, you need to get her going on. I mean, you should hear her on all this. But she actually believes that we're systematically being poisoned. So that would not surprise me. And there she is now. She's beeping me about something. She who must be obeyed. Let's see what she has to say. She probably heard me say that. She said, the big dump trucks used in mining operations, they are on the way to join the convoy in Canada. Oh, are you kidding me? Those things were not allowed on the road. They're huge. Anyway, she is so, Steve, you and my wife, oh my God, you guys would be like two peas in a pod, man. You would get along so well. Oh my gosh, I wish I could get you guys together and on a Zoom call. She would love to talk to you. And I actually may be able to get her to do that, because I think she would really be interested in your perspective. I'm going to talk to her about that at dinner tonight. I'm telling you, she would love to talk to you, and she would have a million questions for you about what's happening in Britain. All right, Nip says all people are freaking out about vaccines in the chat. You're right about, well, yeah. I don't call them that word because they're not really that. They're experimental biological agents. That's really what it is. It's an experimental biological agent. And we already know that they can't be called what you typed. I'm not going to say the word, because they don't work. Because the good ones, like, in other words, traditionally, the good V words, the good V word, they worked. I mean, like, when I was a kid, we got shot because we didn't want to get polio. Well, guess what? Hardly anybody got polio. All right. Well, this stuff that people are getting jabbed with, it's not working. It doesn't work. Anyway, yeah, so much stuff. Well, thank you for your comment about my videos. So much stuff goes wrong with houses. It does go wrong. Plastic makes you infertile. The men, at least. I'm good. Well, I may be infertile now, but I wasn't. I was still good. I have 3 kids. All right. So anyway, so much stuff goes wrong with houses. That is the understatement. It's just, and part of it is just like our humans, our bodies break down. Houses, same thing. They just break down. Things go wrong. But we have a horrible trend here in America, where the quality of the craftsmanship is just really rapidly declining. And what's happened with me is I'm old enough that I've gotten so cynical, I think it's on purpose. In other words, go back in time 50, 60 years ago, we used to have vocational training in many of the high schools. And in Cincinnati, there were specialty schools like Diamond Oaks, Scarlet Oaks, Golden Oaks. We had specialty schools. All they were vocational schools. We have a great program here in America called Skills USA. Skills USA. All It's like a curriculum that they try to put in vocational schools. And I just wish they would bring it back. But I think what's happening is what I think is I think they should bring back vocational training, and it should start in grade school, and that everybody's got to be cross trained. So boys and girls take all of the same classes. In other words, I need to take a sewing class. I want to be able to know how to sew a button on. I know I can go to YouTube and learn right now, but I should have been taught how to do it in school. I want to know how to do a simple sewing repair or hem a pair of pants. I don't need to know how to make a dress, or I don't need to know how to make a vest like this, but I might have enough skills that if I wanted to try, I could do it. Just like young girls, they need to know how to do plumbing and electric and all this other stuff. Everybody needs to know how to do everything. But I think the cynic in me thinks that they took it out of the schools because they wanted to dumb everybody down, and they wanted to make you dependent on other people, and then ultimately the government. Like the government will take care of your plumbing. No, no. I don't need that. I'll do it myself. What I'm trying to say is that if you're as passionate about this as I am, you need to try to get a movement going about it locally, and then you need to go make a presentation at your school board meeting. And we got to bring back vocational training. We have to do it. And if we don't do it, the quality of craftsmanship is just going to keep going down. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to make more videos this spring. We'll see what happens. The trouble with making my videos, just so you know, it's really easy to, for example, to do these live streams because I don't have to do anything but talk. But if I do a video about how to put tile in, I have to put the tile in. And some of these jobs take hours, or they may take days to do. So it's a huge investment of time to do the videos the right way. You need to understand that. It's really a huge investment in time. Steve says the WF has warned us what they want, and people are not heeding their warnings. I think the agenda was to get rid of silver tops. They know more than the young, and the young are easily fooled. Yes. I got to answer this call. It's about she who must be obeyed's car. Listen. Hey, Toby or Garrett, how you doing? Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, that's just that works. In other words, if you actually have the car ready by 2, that's going to work great for us. Yeah. Got it. All right. If you have the car ready at 2:00, we're going to be in great shape. So just okay. Well, just give me a call when we can come get it. Thanks, Garrett. Bye. That was the car repair place for Kathy's car. It all of a sudden on Sunday it just would stop running. And to make a long story short, it was the fuel control module in her Volvo. And based on what they told me, this part must cost $500. But anyway, Steve, silver tops. I love that. That's me. I'm a silver top. Yeah, the young are so easily fooled. Will, we call them cotton tops here. Steve, manufacturers on the decline big time. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. And yeah, no, well, that happened over here in America the past 15 years. A bunch of that's what you probably didn't pay attention to this, but back 20 or so years ago, I forget who signed it. I don't know if it was our President Clinton, but NAFTA, it's called the NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. They have these fancy names, but it's actually poison. And it was an agreement, I think, between Canada and Mexico. And a bunch of factories went down to Mexico. The corporations could make more money. And then we shipped off a bunch of manufacturing here in America to China. Crazy amount. And a lot of American companies sold their souls to the devil to to go have their stuff made in China. And it's a shame. It's a damn shame. Yeah, the brakes are fixed. Yeah, everything's. So the Morse code. What happened? That's I have the Morse code ringtone set for. I have a different one for Kathy, but the one that you heard was the word in Morse code. It was the word call. So it's CALL. So da 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 da. That's what you probably, if you remembered that, that's what you heard. But Kathy's is she who must be obeyed. So she, so SWMBO. That's hers. So hers is let me write that down. I'll do it for you. Oh my gosh. And you know where that comes from, Steve? She who must be obeyed. You got some great programming over there, man. She who must be obeyed. So here we go. So Kathy's ringtone is did it da 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 did it da da da. That's Kathy's. So anyway, factory's gone to Eastern Europe. So you had I forget. I don't know if it was the BBC or how your maybe it's your equivalent of the public broadcasting over here in America, which is all crap. But you had that Rumple of the Bailey, that show from 20, 30 years ago. What a funny flipping show. Oh my gosh. So that's what Rumple called his wife, if you remember, she who must be obeyed. So that's what I call Kathy, she who must be obeyed. And she loves it. She loves it. What's the old saying? I don't know if they got the same saying in the UK, Steve. Happy wife, happy life. So, keep them happy. Keep them happy. Magic happens. All right, Steve, anything else? Any other old Rumple? Yeah. Rumple of the Bailey. What a great actor that guy was. Oh my gosh. He's such a talented actor. You had a bunch of really talented actors. You have a bunch of really, really talented thespians in the UK. I mean, really good. I think they're better than a lot of people here in America, actors. I have a really good friend of mine who's a Hollywood actor, David Lawrence the 17th. He was in Heroes. He's a really good actor. He's taught me a lot, but I suck at it. He just keeps telling me just to be myself. I said, well, I don't think anybody's going to come. Oh, I got to, I don't know if I told this story. Maybe I told it last week. I don't know if you heard it, Steve. So last week, maybe Wednesday, somehow just randomly during the live stream, I said, only like twice or three times in my life has anybody ever come up to me in public and said, oh, you're the Ask the Builder guy. And so I said that in reference to the fact that I do not think I'm famous, because if I was famous, people would be coming up to me, and then if I was really famous, they'd be asking me for my autograph. Never happened. So the next day at the grocery store, I'm in the produce section, and this guy comes up to me and goes, hey, you're the Ask the Builder guy. It's like serendipity. Like, are you kidding me? I just talked about that. I mean, I hadn't said that in years. Crazy. Yeah, Mrs. Brown's Boys. They're great. Yeah, if the actors haven't gone woke, they've been canceled. What a flipping shame. Same thing here in America. It's just out of flipping control. I think we're going to have a big shakeup soon. I think the snow globe is going to get shaken. It's all going to be for the better. All going to be for the better. I think I'm going to live to see it. I really do. Okay. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Been on for an hour and a half. That's a long time. I appreciate you being here today. We had so many people. My gosh. Nip was here. So many. I don't know that I said goodbye to Lorene yesterday. Will, Steve, Jason. Jason had a great question about weeds. Oh, here's what I wanted to say about the weed thing. We have a big problem here in New Hampshire with Japanese knotweed. And you go online and people are like, they can't figure out how to kill it, and they try to kill it in different ways. So I did an experiment here right on the road, right outside where I live. And that's why I told Jason, gave him the advice I did. So in other words, the Japanese knotweed really starts to grow like crazy. It's a perennial, and if the shoots will come up, like in May, and then by middle of June or so, approximately, it's like 3 feet high. And what happened is it's basically shot a lot of its wad, man. I mean, you have to understand that in the roots of these plants, they have all this energy stored. It's just like a cannon, just like an artillery gun, where they load the shell, they load the powder, light the fuse, gone. Well, plants do the same thing, you know. And so I timed it and I waited till I thought it shot its wad. I then took my chainsaw and cut off the Japanese knotweed, to where it was just about a half inch above the ground. Never came back. Not only did it not resprout, it never grew back again. So I actually published that. And but a lot of people aren't following the advice. They don't get it. So basically what I did is I cut off, once all of the energy got out of the plant, I cut it off. In other words, it wasn't getting sun anymore. And the roots were like, oh, stop. No, 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 no. I basically suffocated the roots. Okay, great about that. I'm not able to copy that. You're going to have to email me that link, Steve. I don't know why I can't copy stuff out of this chat. Now, maybe tomorrow I can watch it and I can click out of the chat tomorrow. Jason says, I have a 2x4 you can sign. I'll put it on eBay. I'll tell you right now. You know what? You want to have some fun with that? I'll do it. Jason, you email me. And send me your address. I won't share it with anybody. I'm gonna sign a piece of a 2x4. I'll do it really well, and I'm gonna mail it to you. You put it on eBay. I bet you won't get one bid for it. Or you'll get somebody who pay $1. I mean, it'll actually be kind of funny. I won't be offended if it doesn't sell. All right, I'm going to go. I'll be here tomorrow. Should be here tomorrow. What do I have to do tomorrow? I just have to take Kathy. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be back in time. I had a great time today, as you could tell. And yes, I will give our daughter your best. She's on cloud 9, literally. Okay. Okay, thank you, Steve, for sending that link. Thank you very much. I'll watch it. I'll watch it in the morning. I'm out of brain juice right now. I'm totally out of brain juice. I'm done. I think I've told you this. I'm a morning person. I like to get up early. I'm really on top of my game, in the morning. But after lunch, like I start to crater. You do much better, Jason, buying a flipping lottery ticket. Good night, Steve. Good night, Jason. Good night, Will. Good night. I know Lorene's gone. Good night, Nip. Good night, Katrina. I think that was a Katrina, right? I apologize. Sometimes I have a really hard time remembering names. I think it was Katrina. And Sharon was here. North Dakota Sharon, I guess. Anyway, I think it was Katrina. I'm looking for a picture. There it is. Yes, Katrina. That's what it was. So anyway, thanks for being here. Hit the like button if you like the live stream. I'll be here tomorrow. We'll have a lot more fun. And who knows what we're going to talk about. I'll talk about the celebration. I'll tell you that. I'm not a big champagne drinker, but I'll drink some tonight. All right. I'm Tim Carter. You've been watching Ask the Builder and the live stream, and I should be here tomorrow.